Yo, what's up out there, internet peeps? This is your boy Vaughn B, and this is GNC Play TV. This is my channel's weekly video game news thing. Sometimes there's a lot of news, sometimes there's not. But, you know, trying to keep this thing going, you know what I mean? So, today what I'm going to talk about today. First thing is actually what showing commercials. There you go. Oh. Well, first off, first thing on my thing today is Nicolas Cage. So let's get into some it's just basic game topics. Next level. If I can find this thing. What the hell? Oh, there you go. All right. So the last thing you would have had, like I would have had on my gaming, it's not necessarily gaming, but I guess it is tied to gaming. They're making a movie about John Madden. The last person that I would have even thought about playing John Madden would have been Nicolas Cage. So this is on IGN. And actually, you know what? Let's go to the original article. This tab instead. All right, so the original article. Amazon MGM sets Nicolas Cage to play John Madden in David O. Russell's directed Madden. So I wonder when this takes place in his life. All right, writer director David O. Russell has set Nicolas Cage to star in Madden. Sorry. From the all right, so Amazon MGM Studios drama about the unlikely path that took John Madden from Super Bowl winning Oakland Raiders head coach to the brains and brand behind the Madden NFL. Yeah, the video game that's been around for decades that paved the way for his rise to become arguably the greatest football broadcaster that the NFL has ever seen. Yeah. John Madden is the most amazing, him and Pat Summerall. He is the most amazing, like he is the all right. I guess he has to be the most amazing announcer because what he would normally do is he would state the most obvious thing. So it's like you're on the 10-yard line, and John Madden will be talking to Pat Summerall, and he would tell Pat Summerall, it's like, you know what they need to do right here is to get it into the end zone. And then Pat Summerall would basically go, yeah, that's right, John. And he would do it and he would give a bit more information, but that is how their dynamic worked. It's actually pretty funny. And actually, you know what? Let's see if I can find a clip of that. All right. John Madden. Best calls. I need a short. Do you have any shorts?
Well, this is probably going to get hit. Pre-Thanksgiving brought to you by Budweiser. Drive. I know. Kevin Barlow. Well, John, for years at CBS and Fox, it became a tradition, the turkey leg and all of that. And you brought to the
That's what that is.
I think it's a turducken.
It is a turducken, but I got to show you how to. I can't show you. I need fresh turducken. I'm going to have crazy turducken.
Probably should show it to you.
Anyway, here's how you slice it. See, a lot of people don't know. You have to slice it down.
All right. I'm just going to show a little bit. And that'll probably help. I don't know how long I can play this.
See, a lot of people don't know. You have to slice it down the middle. See, and then you slice it across this way. Because what it is, it's a deboned chicken stuffed in a deboned duck, stuffed in a deboned turkey.
All right. I don't think I can show any more than that. But that is John Madden in a nutshell. I'm not too sure how many people are that familiar with him. Ready. There we go. So that was John Madden's contribution to gaming commentary. There's more than that, but it's like I don't think I could actually play. Even that's probably a little too much. But all right, back to the article. When Madden became head coach of the Raiders and led the team to the championship, he seemed to be standing on top of the world. Coaching and teaching fundamentals of football was all he ever wanted to out of life, but his dream job was destroying him because he was so obsessively put everything into the job, forcing him to retire at the peak of his powers. The path that forged Madden's future was an unlikely one. He was courted by a fledgling game company, Electronic Arts. And that shows you how long ago this was, when Electronic Arts, EA, was a small company that went by Electronic Arts. I'm trying to remember when they actually switched, but to be the front man for his Madden NFL multiplayer video game, Madden had never played a video game, but it turned out into an outlet where he could lend his knowledge and help the masses better understand the gridiron. While Madden died in late 2021, the wildly popular game that bears his name continues into its 25th iteration. It became a favorite of NFL players and fans alike, and Madden made a fortune from it. That paved his path to the broadcast booth, which started with him providing color while Bob Costas provided play-by-play. His most famous pairing came with former football star Pat Summerall. Their voices are a part of the soundtrack of the adult lives of many football fans. Madden changed the broadcast game, blending his extraordinary knowledge of his X's and O's with bombastic sense of humor and childlike joy as he focused not only on the game, but its absurdities. He also focused on the previous unsung efforts of not only the skilled players, but the behemoths in the offensive and defensive lines that fought epic battles few noticed before John made them household names. And this also was a penchant for drawing on the telestrator, which I gave you an example of, to illustrate everything from how great the plays on the field came together to the smoke coming off, an offensive lineman's overhead.
We haven't seen that call but once or twice all year long, and twice already in the first half of this game.
See how heat does come out the top of your head? Look at it, just coming off at Nate's head there.
I missed that. It hasn't been the same without him and Pat Summerall. The slender Cage may not be the first person you would think to play the lineman-sized Madden. That is an understatement, but I wonder if he's going to pick up weight, though. But this continues, and Maro's second win for the Oscar-winning actor. Cage has been taking on an array of widely different characters. He's most recently shown in the horror hit Long Legs, and before that, Ryan Field, the unbearable weight of the massive talent, Pig, and others. He has always thrown himself headfirst into these characters, and Madden will be the strongest test of his skill set. Nicolas Cage, one of our greatest and most original actors. Greatest? Yeah, okay. But original? Yeah. Nicolas Cage is definitely one of a kind. Will portray the best of American spirit and of originality, fun, determination, in which everything is possible, as beloved national legend John Madden. Together with the ferocious style, focus, and inspired individualism of Al Davis, owner of the underdog Oakland Raiders, the feature will be about joy, humanity, and the genius that was John Madden in a wildly innovative, cool world of the 1970s. So this is gonna take place in his coaching life. I'm curious if they're gonna even mention the game other than the article. It should be interesting. The one thing that John Madden was interesting. So he is thoroughly missed. To all you young folks out there who you should go check out clips to see what sports announcing used to sound like. No, there's like there's certain pioneers, and I don't know this is not about games, but there's certain pioneers and stuff where if you don't get the chance to experience it live, it's just not the same when you watch it on video. Like, but it is what it is. So let's see what IGN, see if they're saying anything different. Oh, okay. It's a little bit more details. Okay. Let's share this. There's a little bit more details in the IGN article. Just a little bit. All right. All right, so this is a quote from the article. Nicolas Cage, widely known and decorated for numerous roles in films such as National Treasure, City of Angels, Wicker Man, and such and more. Long legs. So Amazon's take on Madden story was revealed in last year, May last year. Though the time was reported that Will Ferrell, which he has the size of, I can kind of see him doing that, was being considered for the role of Madden. At the time, the film was based on a script by Cameron Clark, but Russell since written a new version. The film will be produced by Jason Blumenthal. Okay. I could actually see Will Ferrell actually doing that part very well. All right. Okay. The next topic. It is. Yeah, let's talk about the Korean. This has been an interesting year for Korean games, I guess, like gaming studios, because they're mostly like set up as like cell phone games and like MMOs. But with Stellar Blade coming out and them not like they did kind of bow a little bit to Sony's censorship stuff, but they kind of backtracked on that a bit. So there's an article that I saw, so I thought I'd check that out as well. So let me link to that. All right. So see if you can see that. Okay, here we go. Korean studios explain why they're moving from local mobile games to console games worldwide. The next PUBG could be coming from Korea. I mean, PUBG itself actually comes from Korea. Korea has become the surprisingly noteworthy region in the video games lately, and it's not because of PUBG. In the last 2 years, we have seen the release of new successful console games from Korea, such as Lies of P. I tried that. Yeah, I thought that was okay. Stellar Blade and The First Ascended. While Korea has a gigantic local market for mobile free-to-play games, I hate those things. Like man. These games we are referring to now are made up for consoles. 2 of them are full retail games. We have seen older attempts by the Korean studios to break into the West before. Once upon a time, the First Descendants publisher Nexion bet big on a licensed online shooter called Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. First Assault. Wow, that is a name for you. More recently, Pearl Abyss has made some waves, stunning graphics of their MMO Black Desert Online. I think I tried that. I'm not the biggest MMO fan, but even that isn't the full story, as we know that many more games from different studios and publishers are on the way. Installs Project LLL promises a truly unique experience from anything and any other studio elsewhere in the world has made. Really? I wonder what that's about. Let's look that up. It's not a. Is there some gameplay? Okay. Video. Yeah, let's check that out.
It's about time. Let's finish this.
This is not it. All right, so
나한테 임무?
루셀 기억하지?
알겠어. 하지.
wow. Is it a shooter? Dude, look at these graphics. Are there a fan? Dude, this looks awesome. But there's been plenty of games that look awesome and were crap to play. But in terms of visuals, wow. Okay. Lots of violence, though. Ooh. Oh, this was, what's the name of that game that came out a while back? It was like a shooter thriller kind of game where you basically had to have a beast to play it. As far as your PC going? Dude, this is awesome. Oh, they got mech too. Oh, is this coming out here? Okay, that's creepy. Whoa. All right, that looked actually pretty awesome, man. Geez, you think about something that looked like that, and then you think about what like Ubisoft just put out. Ugh. Okay, let's finish that article. Okay, let's share this one. Here we go. All right, yeah, that actually looked pretty cool. Promises are truly, yeah, that looked kind of, well, it looked unique, but I cannot remember the name of the damn game. It came out like in the early 2000s. There was like 3 of them. You basically played as this guy who got stuck in this battle suit, and yeah, that's what it kind of looked like that. So it looks unique, but it's not. It's kind of like a mixture of a lot of stuff. Korean government itself has announced plans to help fund their games industry efforts to go global on consoles. And by that, we mean they will be back in smaller studios to bring their games to PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo platforms. But on a smaller level, the game studios themselves sought to make new games for consoles, leaving their mobile roots. So why did they do that? As shared by gaming developers, Belated Magazine Game Informer, rest in peace, had a roundtable interviews with several Korean developers. While there's no clear consensus among them, the bigger picture that emerges is that they're seeing bigger interest for console games in their native Korea as much as around the world. For example, Round 8 CEO Jason Park, who made Lies of P, multi-platform and global, stated that there is a limit to how many Korean gamers can buy on gamers can buy on PC and consoles. Shifts Up CEO Kim Hyung Tae, and sorry if I'm messing up your name, was also the director for Stellar Blade. He chose to partner with Sony to make Blade a PS5 exclusive, but also have them for a global release. He cooperates that most of the game's 1 million buyers were outside of Korea. We had written before about the long-running hypothesis that Korean mobile game industry has become saturated, with its most dedicated players too busy with existing games to play new ones. Hyung Tae believes that those mobile gamers are also older gamers, as they're the ones with more money to spend on them. That also created a situation where those older gamers designed for older gamers, or older games designed for older gamers, struggle to entice new gamers, so they are stuck catering to older whales. Pearl Abyss's Pearl Abyss America CEO Jonggi Jin, sorry if I'm messing up your name, believes that there is still a chance for growth in consoles in Korea. Nonetheless, Pearl Abyss joins their peers in going global, and really, they got there before round 8 and shift up. The rest of this roundtable can still be read if you can acquire the last edition of Game Informer. What we can say, though, is that the new Korean ambition to break through to games worldwide might have as much coming into it as their very successful efforts to import K-pop, Korean movies, TV shows to a broader worldwide audience. They literally made PUBG the next big game revolution could be coming from that third East Asian country. Well, look, as long as American companies and Europe, like Western companies, keep making drivel that nobody wants to give them money for, then, well, the same thing that will happen with them, like it's happening with the TV shows. It's like some of the most popular shows on Netflix right now are from Korea because they're unique. They don't have any of that woke stuff in it, and people are just so tired of it. So, if anything if the rest of that stuff looks like what that Project LLL looks like, I welcome it. All right. So, there we go. Speaking of Western game companies, all right. After being trashed by gamers, Assassin's Creed Shadows lead producer Carl Onye doubles down on games' commitment to being authentic as possible, which is very interesting to say, considering how this dude was not a samurai, and you have him walking around killing Japanese people, and the Japanese gamers are very pissed off about that. Assassin's Creed Shadows lead producer Carl Agni doubled down on Ubisoft's previous claims that the game is committed to historical accuracy. Yeah, okay. Despite being trashed by gamers for its lack of historical accuracy. I like nice turn of words. Gamers, including Japanese gamers, have made it abundantly clear that Ubisoft has not committed to historic accuracy when it comes to the game. Thousands of Japanese players have signed a petition. I'm not sure why people do that. I don't think that actually helps, but calling on Ubisoft to shut the game down, which they're not going to do. They spend too much money on it, and have accused Ubisoft of insulting Japanese culture and history, which they claim can lead to racism in Asia. Okay, well, I'm not Japanese, so I can't really say one thing or the other about that. Translated by Google's machine translation, the petition created by Shimizu Toru states, recently, a lack of historical accuracy and cultural respect has been a serious problem for game developer Ubisoft, which is scheduled to release Assassin's Creed Shadows. The game is based on the samurai of Japan, ignoring the fact that the samurai is the upper class of the samurai class and should be my family or a person who serves you. In fact, William Adams, Muda Proder, the first European to receive the title of samurai, was the one who served Tokugawa Ieyasu as flag book for 250 stoning. I don't know. The petition then declares, in such history, Ubisoft continues to misunderstand the essence and role of the samurai. This is a serious insult to Japanese culture and history and can lead to racism in Asia. Like I said, I don't know about that. But, it then calls upon Ubisoft to start developing the game. We call on Ubisoft to immediately discontinue the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows and show sincere research and respect for Japanese history and culture. The petition has received over 103,000 signatures. Japanese YouTuber Shohei Kondo also explained numerous reasons as why Japanese gamers are not happy with Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Shadows. He states, we are protesting marketing DEI's historical distortion stemming from their disregard for Asians and their arrogance. Discriminatory response to protests from Japan. From here, he focuses his video on what he describes as the biggest attempt to distort history of Japan, and that is the legendary samurai they claim, Yasuke. Ubisoft would eventually issue a statement directed at Japanese gamers. The company posted on X, to our esteemed Japanese community, a message from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all your support for the Assassin's Creed series, which now has its own history spanning almost 20 years. Over this time, we have explored various settings, time periods, and characters from an assassin during the Third Crusade to a Viking in 9th century England and countless more. Yeah, and the Viking, they had a Viking female who looked like she was like 6 feet, whatever. To think about like these Ubisoft games. All right. The thing about a lot of these Ubisoft games is there could be potential for it to be an interesting take. It's like with Odyssey. They had two twins. Now you could have had because if living in that particular time period, the male twin life experience would have been vastly different from how everyone would have treated a female warrior. It would have been different. So if you would have wrote the game that way, where you had one experience as the guy and then one different experience as the woman, from how other warriors treat you and all that other stuff, it could actually made an interesting talking point, but they didn't go that route. So basically what they did was they just swapped out. It did a skin swap out. So if you played as the sister, everyone treated you exactly the same way as they did the guy. Which when that game came out, I was looking at some stuff and they said the interactions between male and female who weren't a part of the same family was so kind of lacking, is that the males and the females had slightly different accents. So That's why I said it could have been interesting. Same thing with the Viking game. They did the exact same thing. They just treated like you could play as the girl version of the character. Everyone treated her like a guy. They talked to her like a guy. It was no difference. So it basically was just a skin, like a skin swap. So let's back to this article. For many of our team, creating Assassin's Creed games set in feudal Japan has been a long cherished dream. Really, people have been asking about this for at least a decade, and you didn't do this. Only reason you did this is because Ghost of Tsushima came out. And the funny thing about that is Ghost of Tsushima was very respectful to Japanese culture, to the point where the Japanese people loved that game because it was very authentic. Everything was authentic, from how he fought to how people treated him, the whole thing. They did their research. Ubisoft was known for doing their research, and they decided they wanted to do a DEI thing. So I agree with the folks on the petition about that. They put DEI stuff over story, and to have you do that after Ghost of Tsushima is actually pretty funny. So it shows you that you're kind of out of touch. All right, but also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. We share your passion for history, deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify. All right, I think I did this. Because basically, it's this corporate speak for, yeah, we hear you, but we don't care. And they made some statement about how our games have never been have been more interpretations of history, not actually accurate to history, which is funny considering how, if you go back and you look at the taglines for the original, yeah, they added all that extra stuff in over the years, but they came out of the gate as being as authentic as possible to the places that they went to. That was their claim to fame. So now we got all these new people who work at these companies who is like, even though we're just going to pretend that even though that's what our claim to fame was before, we're just going to pretend that that's not the case. So, all right. Now in an interview with Games Industry, we are trying to create a game that is as authentic as possible. It's something we take pride in. See what I mean? That is what their claim to fame was at first. And that also is a very long process. When we build the Japanese house from feudal Japan, it's very different from, say, a French medieval house or an English one. So you have to learn as an artist where things go inside the feudal Japanese house, and maybe the food doesn't go there, and you have to get everything you need to know and learn it, and that process is long. I looked at a little bit at the dude's video that they were talking about, and he said they had two different types of foliage, that one only blooms in the spring and the other one only blooms in the fall, and they had both of them at the same time. And that means that the artist just thought they looked nice and put them together, even though they don't bloom at the same times of the year. So that was one of the things he brought up. So having to listen to this dude say this is actually pretty funny. Later in the interview, Anya explained how they went from on site to conduct their research. It is not feudal Japan, obviously, but it's good to go on site because it is only then that we realize it is very different from what we think it is. It is very interesting because when the team went there, one of the things that jumped out was the forest and how they are. We made some forests based on Greece landscape for Odyssey, but when we went, we noticed that it was very different to what we've done, and we had to change it. You don't necessarily find the stuff out when doing historical research. Again, they had different types of greenery which grow at different times of the year. So this is crazy how he's saying this. So I don't know if this is like they realize how pissed off people are about this and they're trying to get some brownie points or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. These are some of the small things that are very important. You don't care about what's very important because you get a better sense of dimensions of the building, the culture, the monuments and shrines that are still standing today. It is important to represent that correctly. Obviously, when we make a game, we're trying to appeal to a global audience. And since we are making a game in Japan, we do hope to appeal to more Japanese players. So it is very important that we try to be as authentic as possible. Wow. And the thing that they put up before was them basically saying that we don't have to be authentic. So now they have completely did a 180 to where this dude is saying, no, we're authentic. This is when you come in, you don't want to come in as you know everything. We want to build something that they see and play. And then when we recognize what the hell. So what are the comments? Okay. Thought it'd be garbage. Show me evidence where Yusaki was bisexual. That and they're trying to appeal to Japanese specifically. Why do any of this? Okay. Yeah, so people are calling their bluff on this. That's crazy. It is. What you're doing is deciding that, oh crap, we need to do something for the PR. So we're gonna come out. How are you gonna do that when this game is gonna be out soon? You can't really change anything. And when it does come out, people will see that everything that you just said was BS. So this ought to be interesting when it comes out. All right. So the last article of the day that I'm going to talk about is some all right. So there is a rumor that Microsoft is basically starting to share a lot of I don't know. It's trying to figure out. It's hard to figure out what the hell Microsoft is up to because they're making money off of Game Pass, and it seems like they're very interested in doing two things at the same time: selling consoles, but they're also interested in putting their games on as much stuff as possible. Now, those two things may align with each other, but if you are trying to sell a $500 console, working on your streaming stuff so that anybody can play your games on a Amazon stick or a Samsung television, and all they have to do is go buy a controller. It's like, why would anybody be interested in playing your game on a $500 controller when people really don't have that much money? So I don't know. Let's see what this has to say. We think a few games that could use help but won't hurt MS reputation that much. So this is rumor Microsoft games to be announced for PlayStation 5 next week, and it's not Forza. There's another article that I'm gonna go over to. Speculation around a new Microsoft game coming to PlayStation 5 thanks to Nate Drake and Shinobi 602 is as reported by Xbox Era. They dropped hints that more Xbox games will be announced to come to a new platform. It is clear that they're alluding here to PlayStation 5. The rumor also that the game will be announced as soon as next week. The rumor going around that Forza 5 is coming to the PlayStation 5, but we have covered that rumor separately. That is because, as Jez Corden reported on Windows Central, the Microsoft game coming to PlayStation 5 will be announced next week and is not Forza 5. Jazz says that his sources have corroborated when next week's PlayStation 5 title is a different game, though they haven't told him what the game actually is. But Jazz put forward several hypothetical games, tongue-tied, hypothetical games that Microsoft may have decided to bring over as part of their ongoing experiment in multi-platform releases. Now is the obvious is Indiana Jones. Really? Because that is as an exclusive because like I said, it's like, are you trying to get people to buy your console? Because if you are, why would you release that on that as multi-platform? Because then I don't know. The title produced by Bethesda and Machine Games is originally announced as a multi-platform. Oh, okay. Apparently, Phil Spencer renegotiated the contract. Renegotiated the contract to make it an Xbox X series, XS exclusive, but it's possible given that Microsoft is now open to being a broader third-party publisher. Well, they bought Activision and they kind of have to do some of that. Then they have changed their mind once again. Then okay. That Hellblade 2 will be an interesting choice. The original game Hellblade Senua's Saga received glowing reviews as a multi-platform title. Okay, the Xbox Series exclusive Hellblade was not as well received. And Microsoft does this, will the succeeding critical reception of PlayStation 5 version prove that the critics have unconscious and unchecked bias for PlayStation against Xbox? Well, that actually may be true, because a lot of the issues that people have with what happened with the Xbox One is actually funny in hindsight, because most of the stuff that they were pushing in that console are basically standard right now. Because like on PlayStation, you need PlayStation Plus to play online. Your system is constantly online. So yeah, so basically everything that they were trying to push, it has become standard. And it's like everything else, people crap on whoever changes either the culture or changes the culture first. That's the group that gets crapped on the hardest. So like I said, it's just kind of funny. Other than those, we got Killer Instinct, State of Decay, Halo. Playing Halo on my play, that just don't seem right. The logic for these seemingly simple, because they would have hypothetically made all their money on Xbox already. True. If that logic holds, then perhaps Microsoft would also try carrying over Crackdown 3. So they're just basically going to empty the store. Now, Sunset Overdrive, that is going to be kind of dated, but it's an actually excellent game. Okay. Dev tools to ease making these ports, so it wouldn't cost them to bother at all. Personally, I see an upside bringing over their other niche games to see if they find an audience. They could, for example, be planning to bring over Creatures of Ava, Age of Mythology retold. The mainstreaming of QOL has created room for revival strategy games. Love strategy games. I hate what they have done to those types of games on your cell phone. In these games and their studios will see more benefits. Microsoft feel less reputational damage, and they may have made these arrangements. Really, they should bring Rare Replay. Not actually, like, we're putting Rare Replay on the Switch. I think that would actually work very well, because a lot of those games that are on there were on Nintendo products. So, all right. There is another article that they that they have referenced, is this one. Update rumor. Okay, for PlayStation Port announcement incoming. Friend of the site. Okay. So basically, this is just them refuting that thing, because they had like a whole. He says that from what he says is that it will not be announced next week, but that doesn't mean that it won't at some point do that, because they had this whole battle between them and like in the sim game with Gran Turismo. So having them go head to head on the same console could be interesting. All right, well, so that is a rehash of what we read in the other article. Okay, so like I said, it's a bunch of interesting news. I do like the Project LLL. Because everything it was in Korean, it didn't really say what system that was going on. It might just be PC, because those graphics look pretty good. So I don't know. All right, so everybody out there on the internet and anybody who checked this out, if you've lasted to the end of this, I thank you. And please like, share, subscribe, and on YouTube, and please give me a follow on Rumble. I am simulcasting to both at this present moment. So, spread the love, as you say. All right, so that's it for me today. Hopefully next week my compadres will be able to join me. So I am out. Later.